Okay, I think I am live. Um, yeah. Yes, I'm live. All right, so let's see how this looks. Think we've got this. So I'm going to try to like supervise myself here on my computer uh, while I do this. I think I can do that, right? You'll have to forgive me because I haven't done a live stream literally in years. So I think I've got this though. Okay, yep. So now I'm gonna see if anybody shows up while I'm talking here. Um, I am working on culling through my decks, and what I'm doing right now is I'm going to uh, look at decks through the lens of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Let's see if I got that. There we go. That's a little bit better. And I'm going to try to supervise comments here um, on my computer. So I'm just trying to set this all up and talk to you just a bit um, while we do this. So what I want to do is I want to find decks that I either don't want to use anymore because I feel that they are, oh gosh, tarot so white, um, or I want to uh, rethink them. Maybe just, oh, I don't know, maybe they just don't fit in my collection anymore. So that's what I'm looking to do here. And let's see if I can keep an eye on this. Oh, I see. I am. This. Okay, that's not good. We need to change this. That's better. All right. It's not great. So what I've got here is I'm trying to keep myself grounded. I brought in a couple of crystals to help me stay as grounded as I can. And let's see what we've got. Hello, biggest fan. Hello to you. So if you just came in, I am doing some DEI deck evaluation. And I'm just going to be pulling decks off of my shelves and looking through them, seeing do you get to stay or not. So my first one I'm going to look at here, this is not a great angle. The first one I'm going to look at here is Anima Mundi. And I think this is going to get to stay. That's still not great. This is very hard to do for me. There we go. So let's see. Does this tick the boxes? So probably this is going to be fine. I don't think we're going to have problems with this one because there's so much just nature shots. And I don't think we're going to run into any gender. Everybody's white. There's no differently abled people. Yeah, this does not offend. So we do have the gendered language in this deck. We have Queen and King, which I am not a fan of. I always have to sort of do little weird things with my mind. I think, oh, nurturer or ruler or monarch or, I try to have another word in my head that's not gendered, but the images are fine in this deck. This deck gets to stay. All right, now this is by the same creator, Megan Weir-Whedon, and this is an oracle. Different kinds of illustrations, but still very nature-oriented. So I don't think there's going to be anything in here that's going to annoy me. And if you're wondering, why am I doing DEI decks right now? Well, this is Friday, January 17th, 2025 in the United States of America. And we are going into a situation where looks like we're going to have some civil liberties restricted, and people who used to feel like they were safe, I think, are going to, well, I know they are already not feeling that safe. So I'm going to say, look, are my decks do they work for my worldview? Because I really don't want to have any of this BS that says one person is better than another based on religion, gender, belief system, anything. Just so that anything that smacks of that is going out of my collection. I'm just not going to work with it. I'm not going to deal with that language or those images. Now, this Kawaii Tarot, again, we've got the king and queen thing, but the gender themselves, the gender itself is not specific, right? Like you could look at this and say, oh yeah, but they got the little cute pink little cheeks and, you know, maybe that's not male, right? Because I personally do not believe that the moon is always female, the sun is always male. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, perhaps the moon is about introspection and a more quiet, more private kind of a thing, and the sun is more extroverted, public, but that doesn't mean that they're male and female, not to me. And I'm tired of those kind of words, and I'm just done. I'm done. I'm so done. So, okay, Kawaii gets to stay. I don't see anything in here. You know, I've got, tragically, too many decks. I do have too many decks. I'm hoping I can just keep moving along really quickly. All right, let me just blurt that out. Okay, this is the Naked Truth Tarot. It's from Baroque Tarot. I don't want to get... I mean, I'm already in difficult territory because I'm talking DEI, so I don't want to get into trouble. So I'm not going to really flip through this. This one on the top is, hi, Ange. Nice to see you, too. This is, okay, so this one, they're going to be predominantly white images. I'm afraid to just flip it. I don't want to get my video taken down. But I do know in here, without like showing everything to everybody, that there's going to be stuff in here that is not necessarily always heterosexual, always white. There's going to be some variation, and I think that because these images are taken from a certain period of time, they're not going to be, they are going to be predominantly white. I don't think there's any way around that because this creator was looking to draw images from a certain time period. But they did make an effort. There are things in here. It's not specifically all white heterosexual stuff. So it wouldn't be my first pick right now, but it gets to stay. Now, one would anticipate that the Lightseers Tarot is going to meet my unstated DEI requirements. But let's just have a look at a few images and see, you know. So first of all, I will say, she's definitely got the men are kings, women are queens thing going here, and I don't love that. I wonder sometimes with Chris Ann, maybe we'll look at her other deck, if I can put my hands on it next, if she is going to get out of this gender lockdown situation. But I think that even though we have got some diversity here, the very strong gender role is going to be a problem for me now, because I've decided I'm just getting proactive with this. Yeah, this is going in the maybe pile, or the maybe not in the first quarter of 2025. So that means that this one, which I have used every day last year as my work deck, the deck that I used when I was at work, I'm going to say goodbye to it temporarily. I'm not going to get rid of it. And that means, I guess, I'm just reaching around all the stuff I can reach, that this also is going to have to go to the side for now, which is kind of sad. Oh well. If anybody's watching and you have got ideas for decks that you think are really inclusive and sort of push beyond the traditional what is female, what is male, you know, some races are better than others way of looking at the world, I would love to get your suggestions. I would love it. All right, so now we're going to look at another deck that I use a lot, Radleigh Valentine. So yeah, fingers crossed, because I like his keywords. So we've got a lot of age here, and we've got like this Two of Fire partnering. These are two men. That's okay. You get a plus on that. Excuse me, sniffing. I was outside. It was so cold. My nose is running a little bit. Also, I'm totally down with angels. So, you know, when an image like this comes up, it looks kind of dated to me, but it's still okay with me, the way I think of the world. Okay, so here we go. Here's a King of Air. You know, older white man. Eesh, a little cringy. I mean, it's not that that's not true. I mean, it is true. It's just that that's not the only thing that's true. That's the thing that gets to me. Oh, you met him. Oh, that's wonderful. I would like to meet him sometime. I've done some online workshops with him, and he is really delightful. I wonder, did he do a deck with dogs or animals? I bet if he has an animal deck out, that would get beyond some of this gender stuff that gets on my nerves. It's getting under my skin. I mean, it's always gotten under my skin. Okay, you know what? With the exception of the kings and queens, he gets to stay. You get to stay, Radleigh. I can't say goodbye to my Radleigh. I also know that, you know, based on the things that I've read and the workshops that I did with him, even though they were only online, that he is, as Ange Roots and Wings just put in the text, he is kind, and I think everything he does has that very kind energy coming through. All right, I'm just like grabbing things off of my desk here at random because I can't get to everything. Okay, so Ange says he has Animal Guides Tarot. It's a reprint from the one he did with Doreen Virtue. Oh, that's very interesting. Wait a second. Do I have that on my desk? Okay, I'm pretty sure that this is going to go, this is going to be okay, but I'm going to walk away for a second and look and see if I have that animal one, and I just haven't played with it. Yes. Is this a tarot? Animal Guides Tarot. Okay, let's take a look at this. Sorry, Dan May. We'll come back to you. All right, let's look at this one. The Animal Guides Tarot by Radleigh Valentine. Thanks, Ange. Okay, so yes, here it is. You can see I haven't played with it. I haven't edged it. So this is the same art as the one he did with Doreen Virtue. It's awfully sweet and cheerful. You gotta like cheerful images, right? Okay, let's do it. I feel like things that deal with nature, things that deal with animal, are going to be easier for me to deal with for the next, let's say, 4 years. If you know, you know. Yeah, look, here we go. The King of Fire is a lion. Fine. High Priestess is an owl. Fine. Could be a male owl, could be a female owl. Now, I think with the Empress, you kind of have to go with female because of the idea that some people have about this being about giving birth. Oh, look at the 10 of Water, the prairie dogs. Oh my goodness. Ange, I owe you a depth of gratitude for bringing this to my attention because, as I said, I have too many decks. And this is why I'm doing this. I need to go through here and find which ones work for me now. So I think, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I am going to take my angel messages. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to put it in the You're on Vacation pile with my Lightseers Tarot. And instead, when I was going to grab that angel deck, I'm going to grab this one instead, these Animal Guides. Okay, I think that is a real improvement for me, an upgrade. That's an upgrade. Goes in the keep pile over here. All right, so now we get to go back to Dan May's Lucy Cavendish. It's funny, I think of this as being Dan May more than Lucy Cavendish, although she is the writer. It's because the images on this, that's what does it for me. All right. You know what? You could read kind of any gender into these little monsters, these beautiful monsters. And so I think this does it for me. And they are all kind of a muted tone. I suppose we could have gone for a greater variation in the colors of the, you know, the fur or the feathers or whatever it is. But they are all in the sort of range of, I never pulled this card, but that's beautiful. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to actually pull this card and hold it out because one of my intentions for 2025 is to fall in love with my life. And this, I think, really says it all, right? Fall in love with my life. I'm putting that over here. And there we go. This Dan May, you are in the keep pile. I love you too, Ange. Okay. Now, let's see what I can put my hands on next. You know what? I have got a whole rack of Colette Reid decks, and I don't need to have them all out. You know what? I just don't. It's almost overwhelming. Another one of my intentions for my decks this year is I want my little room here where I sit. It's not a very big room, and I want it to spark joy. And right now, there's too much stuff in it. It feels like a burden. So I need to prioritize here. Okay, so this is, I think it's her newest one, and she painted these. So this was a new thing with her, is painting these. And I know that she was, I don't know if she would use the word channeling exactly. I'm not sure what she would use. But these were, you know, these were intuitive images that were coming to her that she worked on. And this, I think, deserves more of my time. So I'm going to keep this in my active working area. That works. Enchanted Map. I'm pretty sure that Enchanted Map would meet all of my... There's something about it that bothers you. You are not the only one, Ange. I know that there are a lot of people who feel like it's just too much. I'm going to spend some time with it and see if it resonates. And if it doesn't, I'll let go. I'll let go. All right, let's see how this one works. I do feel like she has a lot of feminine energy in most of her decks. The Wizard of Awareness. I'll allow it. I like this strength. It's so different from a lot of strength cards, but it is strength. And look, here's follow the leader. The leader is not a white man, is it? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a little head up. You know, I try not to be reactionary, but I am feeling a little reactionary right now. And I use this one a fair amount, although I tend to reach for Woto, which is in a different room right now. But maybe I could give Woto a break and use this more. I do love the imagery. It's so easy to look at. Okay, she does tend to, just as I was about to say, she does tend to be heavily white. I got this image. So, okay, this one gets to stay, and this gets to stay in my active pile. Now, the next one, Shaman or Shaman's Dream, however you want to say it. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this. We are all sacred dreamers, dreaming the world into being. I love the backs, though, that's for sure. So the colors on this one are so much more vivid. Excuse me. than in the last one we were looking at, the Enchanted Mat. Who did this? Who's the artist on this deck? It's Stella Grattaglia. I like her work. It could be, I would say it could be a little bit more inclusive than it is when it comes to the actual people. The people in her work tend to be awfully pretty most of the time. But maybe I'll allow it. You know, before I even started to look through it, I was already saying, oh, I'm not sure about this one. I think, you know what, it doesn't offend. It doesn't hit any of the, oh my gosh, I just can't look at that right now. But it's also not, I'm not loving it. So, where's my maybe pile? I don't have a maybe pile yet. Although I shouldn't have a maybe pile, should I? Okay, it gets to stay. It's not on my, I'm reaching for you first. All right, am I going to do all the Colette Baron Reid? Yeah, I'm going to do all the Colette Baron Reids. I can get through them. Okay, Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. There she is. That's her. Cosmos. Yeah, you can see this one's still like really stiff. I haven't even shifted it. Metal King. Is this a Jenna? Who's the illustrator on this one? I really hate it when they don't put it. Yeah, it is Jenna. I really hate it when they don't put it right on the. Okay, this is probably not going to make the cut. So we've got diversity here, but it's still very gendered-y. Oh, this is a tough one. Very gendered. And since there's mostly single figures, we don't have anything about orientation. All right, I think, this is so fast. I think I'm going to let this go. I don't think this is doing it for me right now. Okay, let's, oh, I see what's happening. There's the back. Okay, I don't have an objection to somebody else using it, but it's not for me at this time. It's going in the probably giveaway pile. Okay, this one is going to make it, so we won't spend a lot of time on it. I've used it a lot, and I do like the choice of animals for the different meanings. Yep. Okay, I'll just flip through a couple of cards just in case you haven't seen this and you're watching along. I don't know who is or isn't watching, but yeah, see how pretty it is? And this is also a Jenna de Grattaglia. I do think I'm saying it right, but if I'm not, I'm sorry, Jenna. This one gets to stay. We have 2 more Colette Baron Reids. Stay. There we go. And then I'm done with her. Well, I don't have the Wisdom of the Oracle deck here, but I know it gets to stay. It's in another room. Okay, this is the 7 energies. Let me put that out of there. Okay, I would say, just without even looking at the images, that this is probably my least favorite of her decks. And I can't even tell you why exactly. I have used it a good bit. Well, I do appreciate we have an older person here on Awakening Genius. It's not bad. I think it passes the DEI test for me, which, like I said, I don't have anything written down. It's really just, you know, I'll know it when I see it kind of a situation. That's okay. Okay, it passes the sniff test. Another thing that I'm going to do, I have like a series of things that I'm going through to look at my collection. I'm going to say the first quarter of the year. And there's going to be a little bit of a Marie Kondo step, but that's, I think, one of the last steps that I'm going to do, which is, does it spark joy? And this one might not make it past the Marie Kondo. Might not make it past the spark joy. But for now, she gets to stay. She gets to stay. Okay, this one goes over here. And let's do this one. Wisdom of Avalon. Okay, so now this one, wow, that was loud, sorry. This one brings up the issue of historical, you know, addressing a specific time or place. And then that's, you know, on the face of it, not going to pass the DEI thing because it's about, you know, a period or a place in history where if we don't call a queen because of our modern sensibilities, it's not being true to what people were thinking in that period of time. And this is a reference to the wisdom of Avalon. So we're thinking, you know, Camelot, King Arthur, all that stuff. And so you might say, well, wait a second, this is not what people look like where I live. This doesn't help me always relate to the people that I know. Well, it's not really, that's not the main point. But you know what, it is interesting because they have made an effort. Let's see who's the artist on this one. Are we not going to share the stage? Toronto, blah, blah. Oh, here we go. Gary A. Lippincott. So Gary has made an effort of pushing it a little bit. It's like, think about Hamilton, the musical Hamilton, and how that was cast and the kind of music. So, you know, some people would say, oh, well, if you don't make a Grail Knight look like some white guy who was born in England, then it's not going to be right. Same thing for the Lady of the Lake. Well, I don't know. I mean, historically, yes, that would be true. But do we have to think about things that way? Oh, I haven't edged this one either. I don't know. I just don't know. These are questions I don't have the answers for. But it's hard for me to imagine, like, taking all of my Celtic decks and saying goodbye to them because everybody's white. Yeah, all right, you get to stay for now. Let's look through my little mini decks basket. Oh, that's me grunting because it's so heavy. Is this all going to fit in the shot? Let's give it a try. So you can see, these are all my little decks. All my little decks. So this is a mix of tarot and oracle. And I think most of these are going to stay. I think we're going to get through these pretty quick. So this is Roots and Wings. I have the mini. And yeah, I just can't imagine that this is not going to stay. Oh, and you know what other little one I have? And it's downstairs in my work area, my work for money area. And it's the Panda, Way of the Panda, and that gets to stay. So we'll say that stays. It's a mini deck, even though I don't have it right here to flip through. Earth Mother. All right, I have to stop and think about this for a second. So I feel like everything in my experience tells me Earth Mother, Pachamama, Mother Earth, Father Sky. But does that have to be true? Does it have to be Mother? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And this does have Mother and Father. Well, at least there's equal representation. Because we are, although, you know, don't male penguins sit on the egg? Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, we got into it with this one. Well, at least the moon is not like definitely a woman duality. This is tough. This is tough. All right. It gets to stay, but I have to think about it. I have to think about the language. I don't get to just relax with this now. I have to be mindful. Be mindful. All right. You get to stay, my dear. Roots and wings. You get to stay. All right. Align. Yes, there's no reason for this to not stay. Yeah. It's just manifestations, self-care, affirmations. Yeah, there's nothing in here that ring, that is a warning. No warning bells are going off. You get to stay for sure. All right, the Squid Cake Marseille Tarot. The only Marseille deck I have that I use. All right, Knight, Emperor, Page, say female, not necessarily male, Hermit. I don't think I focused on the fact that people are pretty young in here. They do have a sense of humor, these. Jess Rolar, she's got a sense of humor. The Queen of Batons. Strength. Okay. Super gendered. And, everybody's pink, so you can't say that we don't have diversity. Well, no, we don't have a diversity because everybody's pink. And everybody's kind of young. You know what? I do love this deck, but it's not making the cut. Gosh. Well, that is disappointing. Bye. Bye. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. Forced Fae. I have to move fast or I'll have regrets. Okay, these are Fae, so, and kind of fantastic looking Fae, so I don't, just faces. You get to stay. Phew. After my last one that had to go, that was terrifying. All right, Buffy. Brand new and purchased for a role-playing game that I was playing. And, well, just the fact that Buffy is the chosen one and she's a young woman tells you it's not totally gendered. Although the Keeper, the Hierophant, is a male, so that's a little bit gendered. High Priestess. Tough. Okay, because it is because it's an IP, an intellectual property deck, you can't really mess around and make these people be any different than who they were in the original story, which is what is happening with the Avalon Camelot kind of decks. This gets to stay. It gets to stay because there's nothing in that story that scary, sure, but doesn't really go against any of my values. All right, this Sea Melodies, it's just little affirmation, meditation things, and it's a mermaid on the back. Okay, fine, you get to stay. I don't use it very much, but that's a different thing. Okay, Divine Doors. Yes, you get to stay, Divine Doors, because you are doors from all around the world. So it's not just, America or England or Ireland or something. You get to stay. You get to stay. Divine Doors gets to stay. All right, Druid Wisdom. So here's one where, yeah, if everybody's white, yeah, everybody's white. But again, this is just, yeah, this gets to stay. I'm not going to talk about that too much. It just gets to stay. Because if I talked about things a lot, I would literally never finish this little project. All right, this one is the something tree. Celtic tree, the runes. Yeah, so this gets to stay. It's just runes and trees and traditional wisdom about the meanings of different trees. All right, this is a mini zombie oracle. So, but this we can evaluate. Okay, we've got not a lot of people so far. Of course, it is a zombie deck. Okay, you know what? We've got different ages, got different skin tones. There's nothing in here that's overtly patriarchal. You get to keep this one. Yep. You know, sometimes I say I'm going to list the decks in the comment section below or the description. No way. I'm going through way too many decks. Let's see. I think I've been doing this about half an hour now. And I've really cruised through a lot. This is the Manga Tarot by Barbara Moore. And, you know, the thing about manga is everybody tends to be young and beautiful and have this rather odd skin tone that's like, I don't even know what it is really. White-ish. I should probably hold these closer because they're so little. Super gendered and young and beautiful. Okay, this is going to have to go into the, gosh, I'm not sure, but Barbara Moore is pretty awesome. I like manga, but maybe manga is not the kind of cultural images I need to be looking at right now. So this is going into the, I'm not getting rid of it, but I'm also not using it right now. Because it's a reference to a specific world, just not a world I want to live in right now. So now this is, it's a definite keep, but we'll just look at it for a moment. There we go. It's Mantras, and it's just animals, chakra mantras. So yeah, what's not to love? We just put that in there. Cute little animals with colors. Mildred Payne's Secret Pocket Oracle. Now, since part of this thing that I'm doing now is, you know, after patriarchy, we have to acknowledge that, you know, this whole idea of people being put in asylums, this is a fictional world, by the way, but the whole idea of people being put in asylums and treated in the way they were in the Victorian era, well, before that, but, you know, for a few hundred years, that's troublingly patriarchal. However, this is a radical response to a patriarchal situation. This fictional character, Mildred Payne, which, you know, the name, it feels like it's an obvious reference, to me anyway, to the witch trials in the United States. Yeah, this is a real keeper, and maybe use it more often. So this is an oracle, which, as you saw me flip through it, is, you know, based with Lenormand, whatever. Okay, this is Deviant Moon, and that is a keeper. All right, this little silly thing that I bought because it was tremendously cute, you know what? It goes. It just goes because it's just silly and I'll never use it. I'm not going to say it doesn't pass the DEI sniff test. I mean, it's mostly, actually, maybe I should look at it a little bit, although I'm not going to bother trying to get it back in there. All right, so it's mostly pips, right? Colors are kind of fun. Are we going to get to any core cards at all here? Really traditional. So Yeah, okay. I don't think I need this, but I think the reason that this is going to go is just like it doesn't pass the it doesn't spark joy, which is not what we're doing here. All right, very curious to see what's going to happen with my vacant house tarot. And I need some water. Hydrate. Can't just talk and talk without drinking some water. So this is like some kind of creepy Victorian dollhouse situation that I really like a lot, the imagery. So I'm a little nervous here. What's going to happen? I mean, I like the cardstock. I like the way it feels. I like the tin. Oh, please be okay. Okay, Queen of Swords. Knight of Cups is a fish. Page. Hierophant, pass, pass. When I say pass in this case, it means it's okay. You get to stay. I mean, it's a dollhouse, right? So but there's no reason that a deck that is created in, let's get the year on this. You're going to give us a year? I don't. 2023. Can you give me a good reason why a deck that is created in 2023 would be all white people? I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe, or all white dolls. Maybe I'm missing something. But we are halfway through the deck, and we are in the very much danger zone here. And you know, I could say, what I really love the deck. I love how pretty it is. And that's true. But there's good, and then there's good enough, and then there is yes. And guess what? This is only in good, DEI-wise. And so this is probably going in the giveaway pile. Yep. And you might say, oh, does it hurt to give away something that you think is beautiful? And the answer is not at this time. I've got so many things, that giving away stuff that doesn't stand up to my high standards is not a pain. It's a relief. All right, this is the Sassorabito, what do they call this? Tiny Traveler. And, okay, let's see how we're going. How will we go with this one? Do you not love these colors? This is interesting because this King of Pentacles, just being a silhouette, does leave it open to interpretation. And as much as I would like it if we weren't using the gendered language of King, Queen, Knight, Page. Well, Page is not specifically gendered, but I think it's too much to hope that most deck creators can break out of that. All right, everybody's pretty young. We're not seeing much age differentiation, but we are seeing different skin tones. We've got the gendered language, which makes it, you know, it's not going to make the A-list because of that. But it does, I think it gets to stay. And like, look at the Lovers. You can't tell for sure what that is. We like to leave sexual orientation at least open, if not overtly stated. So, yep, we get to do this. That gets to stay into the box, and you get to go back into my little basket. All right, the people don't need to watch me do that struggle. Excuse me. Okay, this is Lisa Papez's Unicorn's Journey Tarot. And it's really a story of a unicorn. So, I'm not sure where we're going to go with this. I suspect it's going to be very gendered. Seems like we're mostly having female people here, although, I mean, it is a story, and the creator is allowed to tell a story about women, female, and they don't have to include men, or that's not necessary. Okay, I think this one gets to stay by virtue of the fact that it is a modern story. Again, we've got all the gendered language, but I don't think Lisa is the kind of creator who's going to be the one that says, nope, I'm going to call them monarchs, and, you know, not step away from the gendered language. Yeah, okay, that gets to stay. I'm looking around to see if I can. Let me show you a deck that gets around the gendered language thing. So I talked about this in another video, not in my live stream, but in a video that I made, these playing cards. And it's playing cards, and this creator got around the gendered language by calling them monarchs, duchess and duke, so that's split equally between the suits, prince and princess. So she managed to get this, a young woman, a teenager, I believe, managed to figure that out. And so I'm just like, really, the adults of the community can't work out how to do that? Come on, tarot, step up to the plate. Dreams of Gaia. All right, so people tend to think, oh, we're going Gaia, they're going to be all women. And I have to say, I got this deck, and I don't really like it that much. So I'm probably going to let this go on the does it spark joy criteria, but I also think, and we're just looking at this, that it's really gendered, it's really white. Is everybody white? Well, I mean, you could say she's green, but her features are white, Caucasian features. Yep, you know what? Doesn't make the cut. Yep, that was a fast one. Goodbye, Dreams of Gaia. All right, we're out. We're almost done with my mini basket. And that may be the end of this live stream, because we're coming up on the hour. And, you know, I'm just a human. Diary of Skeleton. I feel like this is going to be okay, because they're all skeletons, right? Skeletons could be anything. So we've got the gendered language, but they're just skeletons, all skeletons. They've got clothing, which implies gender in many cases, but in many cases it doesn't. I mean, if you've got the RWS imagery hammered into your head, which I certainly do, then, you know, you're going to see gender there, but you don't have to. And you definitely don't have to see color. There's no, I don't think there are any kind of differently abled people in here. And as I'm flipping through here, I'm reminded that there is a woman on the YouTube, this I will put in the description below, who has a series about patriarchy, and she talks about how, is it her? Oh, maybe it's somebody else. But they found a hunter, you know, thousands of years old hunter skeleton and remains with tools and clothing in the ice, and assumed it was male. And then they did some DNA sample off the tooth enamel and discovered female. So what's my point? My point is, with skeletons, you don't really know unless you run the tests. So, yep. I think this passes. It's a little iffy, like, because of the clothing. It kind of would have been fun if they weren't clothed. But that's a keep. I get to keep that one. All right. the Sage Rabbit Tarot. It's going to make the cut. They're all rabbits. I shouldn't have said it's going to make the cut. I should have stayed open-minded about this. We definitely have some gendered stuff in this one. Oh, this is tough because I like the deck so much. Oh boy, I did not see this coming. I thought that this was just going to be, I don't have to think about it, it's just fine. Well, all right, I'm not thrilled about the gender in the court cards. However, in all of the pips, or the minor, gender moves around a bit. And look, the lovers is not necessarily male and female. I mean, I guess if you have more cultural understanding than I do, you might read it that way, but I don't think it has to be. Okay, sadly, this is a good, not great deck, but it's just barely squeaking by. You get to stay. You do get to stay. All right, we've got 2 more before we end here. And thank you for watching, anybody who stops by and sees this. And this is my, well, that's probably loud, White Sage Tarot in a tin. And I do believe this is going to pass the sniff test because it's largely a pip and animal deck. So I think this is not going to present me with any big challenges. By which, what do I mean when I say that? I mean, am I having patriarchy shoved down my throat? Is it being reinforced over and over that white men rule the world? Old white men rule the world. Is that the message I'm getting from the deck? Then I don't want it in my collection anymore. So you get to say, White Sage Tarot. I mean, the hard thing is going to be when we look at more historical decks, which I don't think I'm even going to record or air or live stream that because people are going to get worked up. And I just don't need it. All right, Sweet Forager's Tarot, which is super cute. Hardly ever reach for it. Come on. Rock pool deck. Not sure. Not sure at all how this is going to go. Wonder why I have these mixed up that way. All right, who knows? Look at this. It's really bowed. Okay, the devil. Yes, why isn't the devil ever a woman? Could someone explain that to me? I mean, fine. I do like how there's older people in here. I hope we're going to get some different skin. Oh, there we go. There's some different skin tones. All right, this is real fantasy stuff. Look at that 5 of daggers. That's really interesting. Okay, as I said, I don't reach for it that often. And with the exception of the gendered language, I wouldn't have picked that for a page. Well, this actually, well, oh my gosh, the moon is a girl. I guess I have some questions, but it's a lot of fantasy stuff. So perhaps I think it's going to get to stay, and then there are going to be just a couple of cards in here that I'm just like, oh, come on. All right. Oh, 3 of Wands is a pregnant lady. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it that way before. But I am an imperfect and limited human. All right, you can stay. You can stay, Sweet Foragers. I have to spend a little more time so I understand it better. And that's it. That is the end of my live stream. That was a lot. That was a little bit of an emotional thing. As I try to fight the patriarchy and make sure that my collection is inclusive, open, and not locked into the old white men rule the world stereotype. Hi, pink deck energy. You like the colors in this one? The Sweet Foragers, it's nice. That's a good color group. So, yep, that's it. I am going to sign off for now because I've been talking for about an hour, and that's just about enough for this old lady. And be well, go out there, enjoy your decks, and be mindful of what kind of cultural ideas are being reinforced with the images and the language that's been used in that deck. Yeah, you did catch the tail end, but it's nice to see you live. All right, we're headed into a long weekend here in the U.S. Don't forget to celebrate Martin Luther King Day. There is a wonderful Martin Luther King Day. I'm really off the track. On Spotify, there's a good playlist there. Maybe I'll put that in my in my description. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. See if I can figure out how to turn this off without making it go crazy. I don't know if I can. Oh gosh, how do I stop it? Now I really feel like an old person. Bye.